So I just wanted to name that. It just really depends. Now, in terms of the 48 laws of power, I do recommend it so you can see how power dynamics do play out, Athena, and how power works and manipulation works and the art of like getting what you want. And a lot of white men in particular, white society, they're playing by those rules. And so we put ourselves at a disadvantage when we're not familiar with the rules of engagement, especially in corporate environments. But what I lean on Mr. Neely Fuller Jr.'s work, and it just it's for so-called victims of white supremacy or black folks in terms of how to handle yourself and definitely navigate the intricacies in the workplace and just in all levels, in different aspects of our lives. And that seems to work because it is designed to prevent arguments and to prevent non-constructive contact with other people, non-constructive conversations with other folks. But I think we need to be able to do both. I specifically didn't go to a HBCU because I wanted to go to the best college, university at the time that had the program and the field of study of Black studies that I wanted to study. And I also wanted to go to a predominantly white environment because I wanted to be able to compete with white folks and beat them at their own game and pop my collar in the process. So I guess it just really all depends. But when we see other Black folks in these environments, I don't really chalk it up to just a woman thing, but I think we need to go out of our way to support each other.
I love all of that. I'm reading the comments, I'm reading the chat, I'm all over the place. There was a comment that I was going to make mention of, but what I'll say is you actually touched on a little bit, Jade, and that is, Feet Funkerson. That's where the comment's coming from. That book sounds like it teaches you how to be manipulative, like the people you end up dealing with. And what I will say is that, and what a lot of this conversation is about, without being about, is that you have to know the rules of engagement. And when you read a book like 48 Laws of Power, what it is teaching you is how to play the game, right? It's not that it's manipulation. It's that too many people that look like us are playing chess and the rest of the world is playing checkers and the rest of the world is playing chess. When we show up to corporate environments, money conversations, literally anything that's happening in life, without understanding how to play it the way that the majority plays it or the unoppressed play it, you show up and you don't know how to play. And too many of us are showing up not knowing how to play. And I always tell my son, they don't call this the game of life for no reason. It is a game. It is literally a game. And if you don't have the rules, then you're always behind the 8 ball. So when we go into corporate spaces and we're talking about PTSD, we're talking about trauma, we're talking about all these things, what we're talking about is, I don't understand how to play this game. And because I don't know how to play this game, I'm losing, I'm being attacked. But when you know how to play the game, things are a little bit less stressful because you can peep the game. I see you, Becky. Oh, I see what Karen is doing. And then you start to understand certain things. Let me get my paper trail right. Let me respond to her like this. Let me CC this person. Oh, such and such and such. Oh, or you know how to respond. If somebody tries to take credit for your work, you know how to go about, okay, show up to the meeting, let June have to answer questions, and June can't answer the questions because June didn't do the work. So guess what June has to do? June has to pull a little Black girl into the room and say, hey, how do we do such and such and such? And then pulling the little Black girl in the room to do such and such and such, the CEO that's sitting at the front of the table says, oh, Lene, how do you know that? Oh, because when I stayed here till 2 a.m. last night doing it, I had to do X, Y, and Z. You got to learn how to play the game, because somebody else said this in the comments. White women will show up as if they are better than you with less credentials. They don't stay as late as you. They don't work as hard as you, and they will want to take your credit. While we are there busting our ass, working twice as hard to get less. But once you know how to play the game, you can supersede all that. You can bypass it. Those were some of my funnest moments in corporate America, putting June in her place, letting her know that this is my work. You can't even speak about my work. You can't even go into these board meetings and talk about what I gave you because I did it. So once you learn how to play the rules, it's not manipulation.